A Light in the Darkness Chapter 31, Fan Fiction by Azazyel. In the following weeks during the travels through space towards the targeted planet I had more than enough time to cultivate, and with how we were flying closer to the Maelstrom of Chaos the chaotic energies I could devour was becoming more and more plentiful, allowing me to fully cultivate through the 9th level of the Nascent Realm and reach the tipping point for me to cross over to the True Realm. Now typically called a cultivation realm, the True Realm was a bit dumb in hindsight, but in reality, it very much was an apt thing, as the separation between the Nascent Realm and the True Realm was a firm cutoff for people without the drive, talent, or resources to reach the higher realms of power. To reach the True Realm was to accomplish a both simple yet very difficult in-practice task, which was to condense the dense mist of my chi within my meridians and dantian into liquid form, which would increase the density of my powers more than 100-fold. That transformation is just one reason why, typically, a nascent realm isn't able to defeat someone in the True Realm, should they meet each other in blows with both using the same cultivation art and having the same comprehension of it. It was almost a certainty that the nascent realm would get beaten like an unwanted stepchild. The process for me to condense my spiritual energy and cultivation with my cultivation art and my body's reforged talent made it merely a matter of time, and in the weeks of travel time I managed to do it, and I was rewarded with my efforts by a loud thrumming noise that audibly spreading from my body as I broke through the nascent realm and into the True Realm. "Are you hungry or something?" Ellesmere asked me with an odd expression, and all the happiness and pride I had for my achievement was wiped away. "I just made a strong breakthrough on my strength," I said dully before I huffed and looked away from Ellesmere as she rolled her eyes. For a while, we were left in silence as we relaxed in our living quarters until Ellesmere broke the silence. "What is your opinion on teaching students anyway? You mentioned creating a sect or something that will allow you to gain strength faster and a number of other things. But I am surprised you aren't hoarding your power and methods to yourself." Left unsaid was how the rest of the races were doing just that anyway. But that was the bit of the matter. The whole of the galaxy was so shitty because everyone treated the others like shit, or they were just crazy to begin with. Granted, I would never teach an orc or the Tyranid hive mind. For the most part, I can see myself teaching my arts to the people of the Tau Empire, the Eldar, and my fellow humanity. As to what they do with said cultivation arts, I then shrugged to Ellesmere's consternation. With how each cultivation art and method I have being a drain on the immaterium or the warp, then I will take it as a win no matter what when the warp entities are slowly eaten by cultivators. And should cultivators fall to chaos's corruption? She challenged, and I couldn't help but chuckle at the thought. If your food that was already on the path to giving you immortality, promised you a different, far weaker immortality, but comes with a great number of mutations like crab claw arms and other terrible mutations, who will even barter with their food to begin with? I said, shrugging, and Ellesmere couldn't really argue that. Yes, but bah, I shall allow you to see the corruption of chaos wreaking havoc upon this with weaker convictions firsthand. Then I will enjoy the right of having the ability to tell you, I told you, she said haughtily. "Well, we will find out soon enough," I muttered as several arrays linked to the ship announced that we were coming close to arriving at our destination of Pandora X-38. Landing Ellesmere was a simple enough thing, as we simply flew over the terrain of the ultra-large planet, and as I focused, I could feel the pockets of denser amounts of chaos energy. "Let's build our base atop the highest mountain," I said as I locked onto the location and saw through the arrays. There was a large number of lifeforms around said mountain. "Very well," Ellesmere said as she strapped herself in beside me in another seat while I brought the ship down slowly onto a relatively flat area atop the side of the mountain. Once I landed the ship and had it send spikes down into the stone beneath it to make sure no stupid warp-enhanced superstorm was going to launch the ship off the mountain, I began to inspect the area. "So, what are your plans?" Ellesmere questioned as she took in the desolate landscape atop the mountain while the light purple sky above us shone upon us with the midday light from the large sun in the distance, which made this superdense planet warmer than most. "Obviously, to make a sect, 3 things will be needed for now. A main building for us and the other higher-level people to live within. A library for disciples to learn cultivation arts. And most importantly, some kind of apartment-style buildings for the disciples. I said as I mused, but Ellesmere quickly reminded me that we had no such disciples, so I decided to switch around to making a large array around whatever we were to build, that will make the surroundings more livable. The mountain we were atop was rather high up, so it was extremely cold as well as windy, so a general weather aversion array system would be of great importance. Plus, having the mortals beneath us work their way up the mountain would be a perfect test of their willpower after I clean up the mountainside, so they have a decent path up. Well, time to get to work, I said as Ellesmere helped me set up the arrays that would absorb the surrounding rocks, melt them, and, like a 3D printer, create the buildings we input blueprints for. Of which we had a great many of such blueprints that I made with Ellesmere's more refined tastes, as for the library being a large pagoda with the higher floors containing the more valuable cultivation arts and such. The main building for Ellesmere and I, however, was a dense black stone tower stretching even higher, and then to power the weather array I took and refined some of the excess star and moon essence we created to make a ball of solar energy atop the tower that would have a sort of pseudo-sun to attract and violently refine chaos energies during the day, and during the night would have a false moon to that would gently light up the sex area and protect the inhabitants from chi deviation. Or in other words, it would devour warp entities that would try to enter the sex inhabitants' dreams.